In 2018, Greg Lopez only got 13%. He only got 13% in 2018, 4 years ago. Greg Lopez has already ran for governor once before. And he lost to Walker Stapleton, who got 48% of the vote, and Victor Mitchell, who got 30% of the vote. He came in third place. Greg Lopez. Here is the unremarkable Greg Lopez.
I want to govern with a steady and measured hand. I think that's what people expect from their governor.
Your primary opponent, Heidi Ganahl, says that the recent law passed by Democrats, signed into law by the Democratic governor, putting abortion rights in state law, that must be undone. Do you agree that must be undone?
Here's my concern with that law, and I do believe that we need to undo it, but here's why. It says that there is no life in the womb of a female, and I think that's wrong. I think we need to acknowledge, I have 2 children, you have 2 children. I think we need to acknowledge that life does exist in the womb. And when I read that language, it gives me really pause for concern as to...
It's also kind of crazy how pop culture and government are, completely the exact opposite. Pop culture has to succeed. That music has to make people's head bounce, and it's got to make people want to dance. That music has got to be good. That comedy has got to be right. That show, that drama, whatever pop culture is going on, they've got to succeed. They've got to succeed. So you have, whatever goddamn artist out there, right? You hate your Justin Bieber. Well, your Justin Bieber, unlike government, a representative, Democratic Republican government, nonetheless, Justin Bieber has to succeed. He's got to produce the songs that are good, and then he's got to go out there and perform the songs to where people like it. So the pop culture versus government, when I'm watching this interview, right, you got to have the interviewee and the interviewer. It's a TV show. He is kind of rude at the end, so I do think that he was being a little aggressive. But it's just interesting that on one side you got government, which apparently doesn't have to deliver, which doesn't have to be successful, doesn't have to represent any goddamn person whatsoever fucking ever. And then you got, the entertainer who has to succeed. What kind of crazy shit is it? Shouldn't the government should succeed no matter what. Who gives a fuck if the entertainer succeeds? I just want to be here we are now. Entertain us.
It's our moral compass here in Colorado, and I think that's really the question that people are asking themselves.
2 Republicans you know well, Pat Neville and Dave Williams, both introduced abortion bans in the state legislature this year. Both were defeated by the Democratic majorities up there. But in a future session, if Republicans held the majority, they brought an abortion ban to you as governor, would you sign it?
I think what we would do, right? The legislation, if they pass it on both the House and the Senate, depending on the language. It's kind of interesting to try to look into the future. The language of the legislation is what the governor needs to look at. Because, again, the most powerful people in government are not the elected officials, are the bureaucrats, on how they interpret the language of the legislative bill. So I would have to read the bill very carefully, but as it pertains to if they passed it, of course.
Now you're going to have, this is Kyle Clark of Next 9 News, who actually is the only Colorado personality who I trust. Kyle Clark, he actually gave Lauren Boebert the biggest softball interview ever. Lauren Boebert, he asked one little tough question, and she got real, testy and was like, how dare you even ask me a tough question? And then here he's kind of like really digging in Greg Lopez. Towards the end, he says, this is my show. When you get a show and I come on your show, then you can ask the questions. When you're on my show, you, motherfucker, we're not in a courtroom. You're not, what are you, the fucking prosecutor? Who the fuck are you, motherfucker? Jesus Christ. I mean, I bet you that was a little disheartening, right? He's like, fucking, I got dressed up, Did I shave my legs for this?
I would sign it.
You would sign an abortion ban? Okay. You have said specifically on this issue that you are pro-life without exceptions for rape and incest and life or health of the mother. Additionally, in 1993, you were arrested for violently assaulting your then pregnant wife. Some people might see those two things at odds, but they both involve you exerting control over a woman's body. Is that what Coloradans want from their governor?
Well, first of all, it wasn't a violent situation. If you go back and
You
look,
were arrested for assault,
we were both arrested for assault. Both of us.
and one of you was pregnant. So again, the question
So
is,
the-
do Coloradans want somebody who has a history both in word and in
Let me
physical
tell you this,
act
Kyle.
of controlling the bodies?
Here's the thing. There's only been one perfect man that's ever walked this earth, and we nailed him to the cross. I'm not a perfect man. I've made my mistakes, but I've learned from them. I think most people learn from their mistakes. And I think really that's what people want to hear, is that you learn from your mistakes and you lead by example. And I think the people that I've talked to throughout the state of Colorado, they understand that.
You don't see it as an issue of control over women's bodies.
No, I do not.
Okay, so either the assault on your wife or the fact that
I don't understand how you connect those things.
I'll explain how he's connecting the two. You're saying that life in the fetus is so goddamn important, it's more important than everything in the world, right? So when you're assaulting a pregnant woman, you're not just assaulting the woman, you're also assaulting the life that's inside of her. Are you not? That's the connection, okay? But it was kind of a hit piece. He was rude at the end. I don't like this. Because this doesn't sink him. This is just 1993. Remember in 1993 when you and your wife got into some sort of domestic violence altercation, which, 1993, so 30 fucking years. Remember 30 years ago when, have you rectified that? Have you guys, and if she was pregnant, that means the baby was born, right? So that means there's some 20-year-old, Lopez, some little Greg, some 20-year-old Greg Lopez running around out there. So just say, hey guys, I made it. It's like, hey, she was pregnant though. Did you apologize? Did you say you're sorry? Did you apologize? Apparently she had hit him. She hit him. I don't know the whole thing, and unless we go, do a play-by-play reenactment, which I'd be all right with. Let's get this in Judge Judy. Let's adjudicate this thing play-by-play, chronologically. Let's moment by moment tell me exactly what the hell happened. But the way I understand it, she hits him on the top of the head. He pushes her down, and he kicks her. And then they both get arrested for assault. Why? Because, she hit him on the head, and then he pushed her down and then kicked her. And maybe the kick was, excessive force. I need to know how hard that kick was, too. Now, the reason why I feel like it's like, God, man, I hate this fucking guy. He's all about cops. He hates the written ballot. He's all about, anti-choice. He's... In Colorado, we may have overcorrected the abortion issue, so he may actually have some points worth listening to. But basically, his priorities are not my priorities. Greg Lopez wants to get rid of the written ballot. The democracy in Colorado is one of the best things that Colorado's got going for it. Greg Lopez wants to destroy. Is he going to get rid of the referendum and the recall and the initiative too? Is he going to get, why even vote? Shit, just get rid of the damn ballot boxes. He wants us to stand in line. What makes standing in line a better, more fair democracy than if you, have 30 days to sit and study and look at all the candidates and find out exactly who they are. You got all the time in the world to make sure you vote exactly the way you want to vote. Standing in line, having to push the damn button right then and there. Like, fuck, I don't know who this is, who that is. Fuck it, I like, Michael Money. I'm going to vote for Michael Money in the third grade. I want to say Zeb or fourth grade, Tim, Michael. Michael Jackson was a white guy in Grant County. Got into a car accident and died. I don't know why. 1993. So 1990. I'm 11 years old. So 11. 6. Let's see. 6th grade, 5th grade. Bill Clinton just got elected. It's a year after the Rodney King, riots. 1990, Jurassic Park just came out. The Velvet Divorce. Czechoslovakia used to be one country, but 1993. So back in 1993, NAFTA just passed. Yeltsin and Clinton had signed some shit. Or Yeltsin and fucking Papa Bush. The first Bush signed some shit in the beginning of January 93. Back in 1993, fucking 30 years ago. 30 years ago, so I feel like the proof is in the pudding. Let's meet this 27-year-old Greg Lopez. Who is this child that was in the stomach? Was he a good father? And we'll judge him on his, fatherhood based upon how well his child is doing. If the child's got a family and a business and fucking kicking ass, I mean, there's 20-something years old now, so then fucking all is forgiven. I mean, that was the whole point of them being married, right? To make sure that child grows up to be a nice, responsible, healthy adult. I also want the world to remember this. This doesn't sink his campaign. He only got 13%. He's running against Heidi, somebody else, Ganal, who probably is going to win, right? She's a white woman, blue eyes, so goodness gracious. Poor, Greg Lopez is clearly the underdog. 13%. And, pushed his wife down, his pregnant wife. So shit, this isn't a good look for her. But I don't know which movie it was, but I know it's Oprah. Oprah plays all these damn movies where she's always hitting the men or hitting the women or hitting the kids, hitting everybody, just attacking everybody. Usually it's like self-defense, and I want to say it's The Color Purple, but basically Oprah had a bad husband, then found a good husband who was like too fucking nice, so she kind of overcorrected, right? Had one that was rough on her, and then, found one that was sweet on her, but she ran him like a fucking dog. Then somebody had suggested, one of her girlfriends had suggested to him that maybe next time she gets violent with him, that, he kind of, pushes her back or kind of gives her, one good clocking. Give her one good clocking. And people might be outraged about that, but that actually helped their relationship. It helped their relationship, right? She came from this overly abusive relationship, so she was being abusive to her loving husband, the brand new one who adored and loved her and respected her, would never do this shit, but she was the abusive one. She was the one that was going too far. So he wasn't beating her, he wasn't hitting her, but when she got violent with him, she, grabbed whatever, two hands, pushed her down, kicked her, pulled a Greg Lopez. So, not excusing domestic violence. Is anybody paying attention to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Is anybody getting nostalgic? The more you hear about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Oh, you know how it is. You know how it is when you're looking at the person and, they went ahead and threw the beer bottle and then they cut the finger and then they smashed the plastic thing. You had to kick him in the back when you're flying overseas across the Atlantic. You know how it is when you cut your, lop your digit off and you got to write "I love you" on the wall. You know how it is. You know how it is. They were both abusive as fuck to each other. Probably one of the worst goddamn relationships on the fucking planet, was it not? I feel like after the first attack, they probably should have walked away. Maybe after 2 or 3. Maybe you might be able to, maybe 12? I feel like that's abuse after 12, motherfucker. It's just abuse at this point, motherfucker. What the fuck? So I can excuse, I feel like it's between them two, and if, 1 or 2 things, and it happened 30 fucking years ago, and the son is all grown up and fine and dandy now. In order to find out exactly what happened, we got to get a play-by-play, historical reenactment, a reconstruction, play-by-play. And maybe he shouldn't have kicked her, right? Or pushed her. You probably shouldn't push or kick your pregnant wife. Right, walk away if she's getting, too crazy and too violent. But if she's abusing you, maybe you need to just stand up to Oprah. Hey, I'm the good man, and I've been good to you. You can't hit me. Oh, you don't think so? Did you just hit me? No, we can't have violence. There cannot be domestic violence. Look, I hit you, but I didn't hit you. I didn't jaw the shit out of you. I didn't stab you, hit you. I didn't take a chain. You know how it is when you hit somebody but you don't hit them. I hit you, yeah. Yes, I assaulted you. I assaulted you. But I didn't hit you. Okay? Amber Heard, everybody. And how come, I mean, you know what? People are saying that she's a bad actress. Actors and actresses can be great actors and because they don't know who they are. So they can play another character like to the T. They don't know who they are. So when they have to get in front of the stand and actually be who they are, well, who the hell are you? I don't know. I don't know who I am. So my point being is, this is not Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. This is, this ain't the white trashiest of the trash. This ain't the white trashiest of Trash Town, you know? This ain't the domestic violence. What the fuck? You motherfuckers, y'all didn't grow up in Kentucky. You don't know what you don't know domestic violence. Greg Lopez, stay composed. He's going to continue to talk to him throughout the entire, interview. Did we even get to the good part? I think we did, right? And then at the end, he gets testy. So I think he was being a dick. And that's, I can understand Kyle Clark has got to make his ratings and shit.
Is that something that you think that you alone can accomplish, or could any Republican candidate for governor make inroads in minority communities?
I can tell you this. I'm one of them. I understand their culture. I understand how they think. They're conservatives. They truly believe in family. They believe in hard work. They believe in making sure their children have a good education. And they don't like government to interfere in their lives. I know that community. I've been in it.
Hello.
Good morning. My name is Steve Nails. I'm returning a call from Jonathan Master.
Yes, sir. Steve, what'd you say?